Okay, I think it's working. I'm so bad at making this not crooked. I'm sorry, guys. But hey, it's Eric here. Sorry for just vanishing off the face of the planet for like, I think it's been about a year and a half since I restarted the Pokemon collection journey, which I hadn't been collecting since college. So yes, that was last September of 2024. So long ago. But yeah, I'm back. I'm making a video just because, well, I want to share with you guys my Collecticon experience because it was super fun. I went alone, which maybe isn't for everyone, but I live alone. I do a lot of stuff in my life alone. It felt really freeing. This was my first like trip where I got on a plane. I've had trips where I go on planes alone and meet someone there, but this was like I'm getting on the plane alone to stay alone for a week. So it was the Collecticon in Miami, and yeah, really exciting, guys, because I got this. I was able to secure this Dark Blastoise. So this is a Dark Blastoise from Team Rocket set. It came out in the year 2000, kind of just before, I would say it was kind of before Pokemon died for a little bit there, because something about the era after that where they went into like Gym Challenge and all of that, and then they went into the e-reader series, which I love the e-reader. I think it's really a fun little gadget where you could scan the cards and play little games. But yeah, this was kind of just before that era where people like stopped caring for a little bit. This is what people were caring about before that. It's not the original base set Blastoise by any means, but it's also not a base set 2. You'll notice it's not first edition, right? So we have the Rocket logo over here, but there's no first edition label, and I'm okay with that. So one reason I went for this one, I did a lot of research leading up to the show. I had been kind of sniping eBay for actually e-reader cards for the most part, just because they're so low population. A lot of people weren't buying and playing Pokemon then, and there was no first edition. It was just, this is what you get. I think there might have only been 1 or 2 print runs for all of those sets. Like, it was the last time Wizard of the Coast made cards for Pokemon, so take that for what it is. But Pokemon didn't see it as a good thing anymore, and that's when they kind of took it over themselves. But I digress. I love the e-reader cards. I had to make some really big decisions along the way while I was making the decision to hunt for this, how the heck I was gonna get it, and then also you know, kind of killing your darlings along the way, because a lot of the time when you're trying to achieve Pokemon Grails, I learned it really does involve getting other Pokemon Grails, or like mini Grails, smaller Grails, that people will want, that you see going up in value, or that you just know are more liquid and they're tradable for what you want. Because this one, I had been looking for probably 6 months and never saw it on eBay. Never. Not once. Funny enough, 2 weeks before the trip, someone did post one on eBay, and I thought about buying that, but like at this point I had already done all the work to go to the Collecticon, to get the other cards to trade for it or sell for it. So yeah, I'm really happy I did it, and I'm gonna get into what actually happened there. like at the Collecticon, but also I do want to briefly just go over the whole thing, the whole trip. Like me going on this trip by myself. No one planned this for me. I planned this. No one told me to do this. No one told me it would be the only way to get the Blastoise. I told myself that after all of this research. Even on top of that, nobody told me to start Viridian City Cards. So Viridian City Cards is my card store online. I just sell on TCG Player, mostly raw singles. We're approaching 200 sales now, so like it's a pretty consistent thing. It's nothing that has changed. Well, it has changed my life. It has changed my life, but the money wise hasn't changed my life. It's just changed my life in the way that I'm always able to churn the cards and get new ones I like, and that's really fun. And I feel like I'm helping people, you know, get what they're hunting for their master sets. I sell a lot of modern cards. I sleeve the all the reverse hollows, all the hollows, anything that's cute, like a Yukimori card, I'm sleeving it. And people take note. People know that I sell pretty high quality, clean copies. And if it's not clean, I'll write a little something about why it's not. Yeah. And at the same time, I've been sort of working towards selling some larger vintage cards. Some, like right now we got a Raikou Gold Star from the Collecticon. I actually bought that from Jar Chomp Collectibles, which is insane to me that I met them. I met Jar Chomp Collectibles. I met the Bulbasaur, which Dylan at the Bulbasaur was the guy that had this. I asked all morning, the first day, I was asking people, does anyone have Dark Blastoise Unlimited Hollow PSA 10? And people were giving me a lot of hope. They were like, well, if it's anywhere, it's here, Eric. And you know, there were a couple guys that were like, that's a tall order. I think they must have just been newer vendors, because anyone that seemed to have done Collecticon knew that that was one of those things where it's like, the only way you could find it is by going to Collecticon or a card show, big card show. But yeah, that was really cool to meet them and see their setups, see that they're real people, right? Because you watch people on TV and you think, like, they edit their videos. I'm not editing this video, by the way. I just want to make a quick video and burn it out there. But, you know, you only see their little splices, so, like, not to say I saw, like, imperfections. You just see the real people. And that was cool. Like, shake their hands and, like, you know, people that really have helped the hobby grow, helped people learn about the hobby who maybe didn't before. And also, this is the biggest thing, help people believe in themselves, right? Like, that is the biggest thing about this trip and this whole thing that I'm doing with Pokemon cards is just about, like, believing in yourself and using your own inner voice, your own inner guide, to achieve your dreams, to achieve what you want in this life. Because it's not the same for everyone. Like, we can't take a blueprint from our mom or our dad or whoever and go from this point to this point to that point. A, it wasn't the same time. We're not in that time. But B, you're not the same person. Like, everyone has their own personalities, strengths, weaknesses, abilities, inabilities. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's just like, this was sort of like the pinnacle for me of why I quit my last job, because my last job, it was a customer service role on the phone, helping people with roadside assistance. That's all you really need to know. You kind of know what I was doing. And I was great at it, but it was taxing, and people did not respect you for doing that job, and it didn't pay that well, you know. So I was in a really dark place, and I did just sort of quit that job. I just quit that job. I knew I needed to change something in my life. I knew I needed to stop, how do I put this? Like, stop putting my fate in other people's hands and put it in my own. And like this is literally and figuratively that, is it not, guys? Like this is in my hand physically, literally right now, but also like figuratively. This is a symbol of me deciding to leave that prison that I had made for myself and just literally choose what's best for me, what makes me feel like I'm being fulfilled in this life. And yeah, that's what it's all about. I know a lot of people are like afraid. It seems scary, especially with Pokemon cards, but I'm talking about anything. Like if you're trying to sell anything that you make, it could be your art, it could be your music, maybe you just make videos, content, maybe you do what I did. I quit that job and I went into sales. So I had been working in that corner like a sad person. The corner is now where I store all of the stuff for Viridian City cards for my store. So like it's all organized in there by type, and I can find what you order. Um, but that used to be where I worked, and it was really not for me. You know, I didn't get out much. Um, I just felt so secluded. Like I needed this seclusion from people to like center to myself, but it reached the point where it was unhealthy. And yeah, and I've gone to this job where it's so much more artistic. I'm in person with people. Um, it has a lot to do with Pokemon cards. It's so funny. Like they even call things like collections and sets, and like it's very based in color and art. Like it's, I don't want to get too much into what I do, but I'm very happy that I switched to that job so that I can do this one. My life doesn't feel as burdened. It actually pays a little bit better. So that's one way I was able to get this. So they keep my job. But also, like, I've created this. This is a job. And then I DoorDash. So like if I want some more money to like grade cards, for example, I'll literally just DoorDash for a couple weeks in a row. It's like, oh, there's a couple $100. And then I put that on my credit card and I don't have to worry if they upcharge me. So that's cool. Like, yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, because like I'm talking about Collecticon. By the way, before I forget this, shout out to Pokepan, or I think William, if I'm remembering correctly, because I actually had found him on YouTube before too. He collects super awesome grails and flips them and sells them, and he was one of the first people I ran into there and bought my Dark Dragonite Unlimited PSA 10 for, I made money off of that. I hope he makes money off of it too. I hope someone that likes it buys it, right? But it's a funny little thing where like you don't know what's meant for you until you reject what's not meant for you. That's the best way to put it. Like I was focusing so much on what I wasn't enjoying in life and trying to like correct that all the time. Like, oh, I needed to rest more, or I needed to save more, or I needed to go to more therapy, and like those things can be good when you need them, don't get me wrong. But it really for me was about just like standing in my own shoes, no one else's, and like knowing that, hey, I love Pokemon, you know, I love Pokemon. I know about it. I've collected since I was 6. The only thing I can do is learn more. So I did that. And now I have this. And I have other things too, but this is the pinnacle. And yeah, I just remember like walking around on the beach. It was so nice there too. It was so nice there. It's crazy. Because I'm from New England. We literally had like the worst blizzard since 78, they were calling it. I didn't plan that. I was down on the beach in Florida, and yeah, I just remember like walking. I walked minimum 10 miles a day. I just love walking and like listening to people's ideas and like exploring things when I do that. So yeah, I was like walking and like thinking, and one of the thoughts that kept coming back to me, not only in like some of the tarot reading videos I was listening to, but just like when it came to the Pokemon cards and like what I was doing with my life. Yeah, it really came back to like, you don't have to be any one thing. And I want you to know that too. Like, I want everyone who's watching this video and anyone that is even thinking about like what I'm thinking about right now, like, you don't have to be any one thing just because people say that that's the best way to do things or that's how they succeeded. We live in a very different time. A lot of the times I've found my skills can roll over into other avenues. Not saying that I'm happy with my job right now, actually. I have no plans of leaving, but when I left that other one, I didn't know what I was going to do next. And when I started this card shop, I didn't know that I'd make 200 sales. You know, when I went to Florida, I didn't know that everything would be okay, but it was, because I made it that way and because I had the perspective of being open to like, this is the way they act there, this is the way they do things here, you know, this is the way people act at Collecticon, this is how they talk about the pricing, or like what is or isn't worth a grail like this, right? And then like just like everything, like you don't have to be a certain type of person for your friends, you don't have to be, yeah, like you can just be. And like that's what I did the whole time. I feel like this is sort of the culmination of just allowing myself to just be. And ironically, like the more and more you just be, you become great. Like you become your greatest self if you just allow yourself to be that. So yeah, went a little bit off of a tangent there, and don't get me wrong, easier said than done, and everything takes work, and everything in life does take work. You have to do well at whatever you're doing, but like, please don't sell yourself short, and please know that like, just because you're seeing someone online do something that you haven't done yet and it seems so impossible, or it seems like they're almost like inhuman, right? Because sometimes that's the thing with like celebrity culture, or like more so nowadays, like the parasocial culture online, is we get it in our mind that people are like effing perfect. And like, I'm sorry, like even the owner of the Bulb store, Dylan, great person, very smart, very good at negotiating. Like the way he tells someone that he feels a deal is unfair in his favor is so respectful. I noticed, like, if you watch his videos, he's so respectful. And like, even he's not perfect, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's made some blunders where he sold something and, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or oh, I wish I didn't buy that. And like, that's life is imperfect. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm talking a lot here. I might start making these little videos where I'm not really like, I'm not gonna edit and put music in. It's just, if you want to watch this, great, and if you don't, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. One more look at this amazing Grail of a Mon here. Not the best camera, but yeah. And yeah, let me know, you guys, if you've ever been to Collecticon. Have you ever felt this sort of experience in your life where you just sort of have thrown caution to the wind, or not even that, just known when to be cautious and when not to be? Like, I just want to hear you guys say. But yeah, I'm so glad that I had this experience. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.